These are always so awkward to start. But yeah, it's been a long time. Um, Spring semester has come and gone. It's been a while. There's a lot of things that happened, and so we should probably recap what's happened in spring, tell y'all what I'm doing in summer, and then talk about the PhD thing, all that jazz. But yeah, so spring semester, I went crazy. I decided to take 3 classes instead of taking one class as like a research hour thing. But I didn't, and I was like on multiple work projects thing. I was like have a meeting like every single week. Oh my god. But yeah, so I took 3 classes. I took my functional analysis class, which is my last official math class, I think. Unless there's a topics course that I would like to take. But yeah, so as of my program, I'm done taking hard math classes. Then I took 2 education classes. Education in a Pluralistic Society, which is a class that just shows teachers, future teachers, current teachers, um, what it's like to not be a white, cis, male, heterosexual man in society, and how education is different for people who are not part of the ruling class. I don't know a better word for it, but yeah. Discussion, it was online. We had discussions on the discussion boards. um, Questions really made me go like, hmm, like, cause it's not an easy concept. It's not something that we have like the right answer for. So it's kind of a class that makes you just think about like, what do you want to do? What do you think is correct for your classroom and for your pedagogy? Which is interesting. The other class that I took was curriculum inquiry, which is just looking at how people have studied curriculum and all that stuff. It's an introductory class for like the teaching education department for grad school. I took it because I wanted to and it seemed fun. Learned a lot. That one was also online, and yeah, just a lot of readings. Like this past semester was just a lot of readings, and it took up a lot of my time. And then from now on, I don't think I'm ever gonna take 3 classes like that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take one, maybe two, and then the rest are like dissertation hours. Unless there's a topics course. I guess I can take the time now to discuss what a topics course is if you don't know. Um, so, in the world of classes, there is the lecture class, the usual. You walk in, you take notes, there's an instructor at the board telling you about all these math things or stuff. That is what I'll call a lecture format, even though some teachers don't usually, like, not every class like that is a lecture format, but I'm gonna call it a lecture class. Then there's a seminar where it is more so like you have a book or you have a research article or a bunch of research article that you talk through as a group, as a class, and the professor is kind of there guiding the people through the literature and like trying to learn it that way, trying to learn the concepts through that method, which is a fun way of learning stuff. Um, and then there is the topics course or seminar is also sometimes called a reading course. Um, I haven't taken that yet. But the last one is the topics course. The topics course, you can think of it as like an elective. It can take the form of a seminar or a lecture, depending on the professor leading the topics course. But the topics course is sort of like it's not an official listed class. Like the professor gets to decide a topic. Because, for example, last year, one of the topics courses for the discrete mathematics group was about alternating. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like the something about matrices and how that relates to graph theory and like alternating signs. Very cool. So the professor gets to propose it, but then you have that. But then they have to advertise it as like something that's interesting for other students to hear about. So yeah, and those tend to meet once a week or maybe 3 times a week, depending on the type of material. But yeah, those are the 3 types of classes. And I think moving on, I'm gonna have maybe one lecture class in the education department because I still need to take some more education classes. And then maybe a topics course or not. The other type of class that I will be taking now that I am going to be a fourth year, I'm going to be a fourth year, um, is dissertation hours or research hours or independent study, whatever you want to call it. But it's when you finish all the coursework that you have, but you still need the hours, the credit hours of a PhD program, which is about 90 hours, 90 credit hours. You usually spend about, I don't know how many, but you need some for dissertation hours to say to the university that I spent ample amount of time working on this dissertation officially, as opposed to working on other classes. But yeah, I think from now on I'm just gonna be taking dissertation hours, besides one more class. So one class, dissertation hours for the rest, and then yeah. All right. For teaching, oh my god, what did I teach last semester? I taught a class for pre-service mathematics teachers, which was very fun. I had older students in the class, which is always such a fun comparison versus like me teaching. First year, people have just moved out of their houses and now are in college vibe, and so there was like a sense, I don't want to say maturity because that implies the first years are immature. That's not what I'm trying to say. But there's this like age thing that happens when I got to teach pre-service math teachers because they know what's happening. They know the dealio, and it was a lot easier for me to like discuss things and like be forthright and being very honest, especially since I'm also trying to be an educator in math. I was able to relate to that. But yeah, it was a very fun class. We met twice a week, so it was very fun. It was so nice going from teaching from 4 days a week to 2 days a week. Drastic difference. But like I spent a lot more time outside of class preparing for class because I made worksheets every week. Not every week, every single class I had a new worksheet. I learned the worksheet is a bad, it's not like there's a connotation to it that's like bad now because it makes sense. It's like work sheet, like it's just a sheet of paper that you work on. But I meant like a handout, like a lecture, like guided notes kind of format, and it was fun. Like I was able to like take the textbook, transform it into this like paper form, and then like when I get into class, I just start. Well, I don't start right away. Like I have like a short like hi, and then let's get started. Thank you for coming. We go over like the week schedule, and then I start taking the notes, and then students just follow along. And then usually we get done pretty early, and then we spend the rest of the time just working on the homework and stuff. But yeah, very fun class to teach. Next semester, because I got my teaching, unless it changes, I am going to be differentiating some equations. Not the lecture. I'm just doing the discussion, the recitation section. I have 3 sections to do, all on Friday, kind of back to back to back. I have like a between after the second one break, which is pretty fun. I love it. I am going to be able to not teach, I'm not going to teach. I'm going to be able to help students with differential equations. It's going to be so fun. It's my favorite subject of math. It's so fun. So then the PhD program, right? I'm in a PhD program. I'm supposed to update on how that progress is progressing, right? So I am entering my fourth year in the fall. Finish my third year. I feel really old in the program and also in the age, but pretty fun, you know. I like I said in the classes section, I'm done taking classes like officially. Any class that I take from now on is just for fun and just to like broaden my knowledge about stuff. So I'm mainly focusing on education classes, but for the math side of things, I'm pretty much done taking math classes, which is, you know, kind of freeing, but kind of scary also. But yeah, this past, in the beginning of June, I took my comprehensive exam. And I think I'll say a few stuff about how the exams work in my PhD program, but then I think I'll dedicate a different video talking about the different exams that I had to take. And again, it's different for every program. It's different even here within the program because I'm a math education student as opposed to I'm a math student who is doing a math education dissertation. It's not the same thing as a math education PhD student because that's in a different department. Yeah, it's giving UCLA. I'm a mathematics of computation student, so math CS, but I'm not really a CS student. It's just kind of my life. But yeah, anyways, I took my comprehensive exam, comp for short. It's in two halves. I have 2 hours to do each. And so both exams together was 4 hours. I took the first half in partial differential equations. I took the other half in functional analysis, and so they combined those, and that was my written comprehensive exam. I had 4 hours to do it, 2 hours each. I was very strict in only spending 2 hours on each half because I don't want to like spend more time on a half and then the other one gets kind of like screwed over. Um, it was a very challenging exam. I realized after I finished the first 2 hours that it's very hard to switch subjects that are kind of not related, especially the questions. So I was having a hard time transitioning from I just did PDEs to now I have to do functional analysis. So that was an unforeseen challenge. Uh, and it was kind of challenging. I don't have my score yet for the functional analysis half, but for the partial differential equation half, yo boy did not pass it. I have to do rewrites, so I didn't completely fail it. So the thing about comprehensive exams, well, again, it depends on who your advisor is, who your committee is. But for me, I got lucky, and I don't have to retake the exam. I just have to fix my answers because I showed enough knowledge. I just did not have enough time to really do it thoroughly. So I have now time until mid-July to turn it in, to be like, these are my rewritten answers that are now flawless because I have access to my notes, I have access to all the resources that I need, and all the time that I can use, you know? So then I'm gonna write it flawlessly, I'm gonna turn that in, that's gonna be a complete pass. Functional analysis, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm like really scared about it. But either or, all I know is by the time December hits, by the time I go to winter break, I'm gonna be done with exams. Uh, I'm making that a promise to myself. I don't want to take any exams in 2024 and moving forward. Like this is it. Like for the PhD program, like that's it. Like that's it. I'm done. I don't want to do more exams. And yeah, um, research is going well. Um, I'm gonna start data collection soon, actually. And again, I think moving forward, I'm gonna start focusing like these update videos on what I'm doing for research. Uh, and so I wanna put a pin on that conversation. And I promise I'm not gonna take like 6 months to do another video, probably just 3 months. But yeah, I'm gonna start talking about research because that's what I'm gonna be doing in this PhD program. But yeah, I have like 2 years left in this program. That's kind of crazy. Like, I am gonna finish within those 2 years. I am. I am. I'm gonna finish. Now I should probably talk about summer. Like, what the heck is happening in my summer? You know, why didn't I make a video sooner? Like, right after I finished spring semester. Well, one, because I took my comprehensive exam like 2 weeks after the semester ended, and then after that, I had a class that met every single day. Oh my god, every single day for 2 weeks, and we learned about math discourse in the classroom. Very fun, very interesting. Loved the class. Learned so much from the class. But yeah, took up so much of my time. And then I'm also taking a statistics class, which is showing me quantitative methods. I'm learning how to do a t-test, how to do z-test testing. Next week we're doing ANOVA, analysis of variance, I think. Very fun topics. But yeah, after June though, I'll be done with classes. But besides that, my job this summer is updating curriculums. Not curriculums, I'm just updating material. I've corrected typos in the online textbook. I corrected problems on the workbook. I am fixing problems in the online homework platform. Um, that one's still not done. But I had like a whole upheaval of the textbook online because I had to like we had to make changes in like the ordering of sections and all that. And so then I had to make that update for the workbook. And then on the workbook, I was like, I think we should have notes, like guided notes, like at the beginning of each section that is more helpful than just an empty page for people to write notes in. I think there should be some direction in terms of like, what should you write on this page? So that's what I did for all like 30 something sections of the college algebra course. I made guided notes. It took a long time. It took a long time, but I feel accomplished because I feel like I have put in a lot of effort into improving the experience of students in college algebra. It's been kind of like I don't know if I talked about it last year, but last summer I was working on the co-requisite course for the college algebra class, and so I think college algebra has just been kind of like my passion project in terms of improving stuff for this institution. Like I hope like the things that I'm doing is in fact like helping students and not like me fooling myself into thinking that I have improved their experience. I think the things that I'm doing are impacting students like positively. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this summer. I have to meet with my advisor once July starts. Because we kind of both agreed that June was just kind of I need to focus on all the summer things that I need to get done that I'm getting paid for, and then we'll pick things up again July, and then we'll finish off our work in July. But yeah, once July hits, I'm gonna start working on my dissertation stuff like very thoroughly. Like I have interview protocols to do. I have to send emails. I have to. I'm really excited, but also scared at the same time, and I want to save that sort of discussion of like what am I doing for research, what am I doing like I'm like really excited. But yeah, this video has gone on long enough. Editor Johan's gonna hate me because I blabbed on for like half an hour and he's gonna somehow turn this into a shorter package. But yeah, until next time, and I promise I won't be gone for 6 months. But yeah, until next time, I will see y'all later. Oh yeah, happy Pride! Hopefully this video is up before Pride ends. But yeah.